What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. What's going on, Lucas? As you're coming in, guys, hit the like button. Start throwing your questions in the chat if you got any. Otherwise, just say what's up and say what's up to the fam. You got a day off from work? That's dope. Well, my Thursday hasn't been going for very long. Good morning, John. Just trying to get things figured out for the beginning of the year, you know? We got a lot of stuff that we want to get done this year. What's going on, Fritosen? Ryan says, what's up? What's up? Can you do some stuff on chromatics? I know you love them, and for some reason, I can't get them to click. Yeah, bro, we can work on that here in a moment. Guys, as you're coming in, hit the old like. Get in the chat, ask a question. I answer all the questions. Usually, no matter what they're about. How do you get St. Alzy stickers? Send me an email. We got some right now that I can. We have some holographic ones. What's the green drink I'm sipping on? So this is just a smoothie. I'm doing like a little bit of a smoothie fruit cleanse kind of thing right now. Oh, Mike, welcome to the cult. Welcome to the family. Does it make sense to get a Fred as a starter? I mean, absolutely. It depends on what you're needing it for. So if you're wanting to do the Jerry thing, Freds are like the best way to go, especially if you're a baller on a budget. Definitely the move. Better than most other guitars around that same price point. As you're coming in, guys, hit the like button and throw your questions in the chat. All right, let's see here. Okay, so our first question was about chromatics. Ooh, okay. Let's see. Okay, so Jay Tanner, yes, I do these the first Thursday of every month, these live Q&A workshops. I do these first Thursday of every month, and also, yeah, they usually come out at noon, my time. So, like, whatever time it is for you. All right, so chromaticisms. Chromatics just means like you're going in order, right? So if we're doing something in A, it's the idea behind it is that you can really play any note, right? I know that that's a bit, but it's like any note is fair game. As long as it just depends on where you start and where you finish. So if you start and finish within key, the notes in between don't really matter. They're just helping you on your way because you're using them as kind of like passing tones, right? So take, for example, like we'll just find out what key this is in. We'll turn this up a little bit. So okay, so this is in C, so like C major or A minor, depends on however you want to look at it. So what you can do with this is so like with the chromatics and stuff, you're kind of hitting the notes in between. So you're usually doing them in like threes. Well, let me get rid of that. All right, so you're usually doing them in like groups of 3 or 4. So if you're doing 3 and we're in like, say we're doing this C-shaped A, right? Pinky on the 12th fret because that's your A root, and then you're folding on that C shape. So if we're doing that from here, right, I'm just hitting. So anytime that you have like a whole step, you know you have a whole step between something, you can hit that note in the middle as long as you carry on. You can't just stop. Right? You got to follow it through depending on what you're doing. So if I was doing A minor, that would work. But I'm doing A major, so I've got to carry on. Yep. So the whole idea behind it, sorry guys, just other band stuff. So I really use them all the time, and at this point they've kind of become second nature because like I'm just literally just throwing in the notes in between things. So so let's just do like a. My foot's asleep. Hold on. So that's E to A, right? And to me, that's just how I play, right? So, but it took a while for me to realize that, oh, literally, I can hit any note in between what I'm trying to do. So, like, I've got this E here, right? Got your first position E, so I know that I've got a whole step, half step to that next E on that A string, right? So I can go... I can literally hit every note on the way up there. It literally depends on where I start and where I stop. And again, usually in groups of 3 or 4. Yeah, and then from there, it's like you can do it like I love to do the chromatic pull-offs, and then like it's all about phrasing, right? So it's like I'm literally just hitting these 6 notes. That's it, but I'm doing it in a way that makes it sound more complicated or, better than it is. And a lot of the time I'll do like a passing kind of like, there's that pull off. And then like I'll just slip them in little ways too. Or I'll do a chromatic and then a chromatic pull off. I'll do a chromatic single note thing and then a chromatic pull off. It's like literally like 90% of my playing is chromaticisms, honestly. And I think it's really important. I think chromaticism, I don't know if that helped at all. Let's see here. Is my cat getting any better? Yes, he is getting better. Still send help for bills though. Those bills are fucking expensive. Death and Destruction over on Twitch, man. Thank you. I had to work to make this guitar cool. Cause I'm not a fan of Eastwood as a company. But I do like this guitar. I love that it's a big old guitar for a big old boy like me. And I was able to do modding to it because they don't come with these humbuckers or the MIDI in them. Let's see. What's going on, Mark? Conrad, happy to see you. Any advice on developing phrasing? So that to me is, so your guitar is your voice, right? This is your thrusty. This is your vussy. This is everything. So this is how you communicate in music, right? So it's your guitar. So phrasing is just like your dialect or like the way you're choosing to say words, like cool whip, right? You throw that little H on there. It's different. So phrasing is more like having that conversation because you want to talk. Use it as a voice. Don't just use it as like a single note thing. It's like when I'm playing, I'm trying to talk. I'm having a conversation. Some people, people tell me that I'm notey, but like, and people tell me what is it? What is it when people say overplay? I don't know. And people call me noodly, but it's whatever. I'm talking. It might be gibberish and it might be a run-on sentence, but like I'm still like, it's not just for nothing. It all kind of has a purpose. So if we're taking that same kind of loop we were doing, that E to A, because E to A is always the easiest for me, because E and A are like home on the guitar. Okay. So phrasing is basically just like how you're going to talk. So how do I start this conversation? So sometimes that's as far as like, because I'm not necessarily thinking about it. It's more of like an instant, like I'm feeling this and then it's through my hands. So like I'm talking in my head almost. It's like that kind of thing. It's like that's immediately happening in my head. So the more vocal you can be in your head, like all of this kind of takes place within your brain. Right? Everything's kind of taking place in your head. It has to before it comes out. So it's like when you're playing by yourself or you're playing with yourself. Not like that. Don't be like that, you perp. So when you're doing that, it's like you kind of keep that tempo in your head, right? You have the song playing in your head. You just have to like get to that kind of like that synergistic point where your ability and your knowledge complement what's going on in your head, so you can make what's in your head happen out here. Because like there's so many ways to like start any kind of phrase. You can slide in, you can slide down, you can do a bend, single note, start with an arpeggio. There's so many things that you can do to get some stuff moving. So like the thing that I would suggest to work on your phrasing, because that was the question, Dave, really kind of give in to like what you want to talk about. It doesn't necessarily have to, it can be amorphous, it can be amoebic. It doesn't have to be this like super clear idea, but it's just that kind of like being being more in tune with like, because it's emotion, right? It's about like conveying your emotions. Now some people that also means you have to kind of be in tune with your emotions a little bit. So it's definitely harder for people that like are kind of emotionally cut off. It's harder for people to play when they're emotionally cut off, because it is this kind of like, you have to be super vulnerable when you're playing. And people that can't let that happen, their playing sounds stiff. It sounds robotic, but there has to be that like that wall broken between you and like whatever the ether is, whatever the grandfather spirit in the sky, whatever. There has to be that connection, or it doesn't sound right. So phrasing comes from the heavens. I don't know. I know that was ridiculous. It's huge. Bet it weighs a ton. It does weigh a ton. This is like maybe like 13 pounds. You can't play for days after a haircut. Get stoned, set up a loop, grab your guitar, and start talking with that biatch. That's how you get better at phrasing, I think. That's true. And also, like, you know, I will always tell people that, like, it is invaluable to play to backing tracks. Because playing to metronomes fucking sucks. I don't like it. Some people like it. Some people can do it. I've never been able to do it. It always bums me out and stresses me out. Play to backing tracks because they're usually set to a metronome, so they're basically perfect. And that helps with you. So first of all, it tricks you into playing with a metronome, and second of all, it helps that internal metronome and that internal like timekeeping, so you can then like, you know, play in time and play in key and actually learn how you feel about it. You only practice drills to a metronome to keep you honest. But it's like again, like a backing track is still a metronome. Like you being honest is what keeps you honest. Like you can do the metronome stuff for sure. Like I used to practice to a metronome, and it definitely helps. But like for me, it's like I would rather find a backing track in the tempo that I want, or at least go into Logic and set up a drum loop, just so like it gives me that. Because like when you're in a real situation, you're not playing with a metronome. You're playing with people. You're playing with a full band. So like I don't know why you would not practice to that. Like I know that you have to do stuff by yourself, but it's like that only gets you so far. You got to play with people that are better than you. And usually a backing track, depending on who made it, will kind of give you that experience of playing with a band. And that's something that you need to become a better player, I think. I think playing with people is one of the most invaluable things that you can do as a musician, particularly people better than you. If you haven't yet, guys, hit the like button. If at any point anything helps and you want to throw a couple bucks at me, you can do that there. It helps me pay bills, especially since my cat was just like deathly ill. And yeah, kind of fucked me up on rent for this month. But it happens. Campfire and a $50 guitar. There you go. Let's see. Hey, Davey, I wanted to say thank you for the golden rut. No problem, man. Pentatonic rut. Yes. Boom. Fuck yeah. So if you're stuck in the pentatonic rut, bam, the Golden Road Guitar Course. So the Golden Road Guitar Course, if you're new here and you don't know what it is, it's the guitar course that I made. It's a video course. It also comes with charts and backing tracks, and it seemed to help a lot of people. It's basically just shows you, how to play your chord inversions, how they all link up, and then also something I call the whole half method for soloing. It basically teaches you Mixolydian and Dorian just in a nutshell, but it's a very simple pattern. It's about patterns and shapes, so you're not worried about modes and scales. You just play. That's what I want people to do, because you can get caught up and muddied up, and I don't like that. Question about major relatives. Do I need to memorize them all, or is the pattern you shown the same for all? It's the same. It's always the same. And that's the thing that I try to tell people like right away, is that like it's all the fucking same, all the way up and down the neck. Everything's the same. It's just repeated. It's all just repeated and shifted up. That's it. Everything's the same. So it's like if you're doing E, A, B, which are relatives, you can do. You can do E, A, B literally all up and down the neck and back and forth. And it's the same thing. It's just that relative kind of like 1, 4, 5 type thing, right? So you can do F and then B flat and C, right? That same idea, just all the way up and down. Those are your relatives, and that helps a lot too with pretty much any song. So the main idea behind learning these chord inversions and the relatives is so you can move up and down the neck and you can visualize all your chords, right? Because that's how you know where you're at. Cool? Because it's like I know that I got an E here, E here, E here, E here, and then there. So it's like I can start literally anywhere between these, right? Again, soloing is really just tracing chord shapes. No matter what anybody tells you, they're lying. You're just tracing chord shapes with some flair. How much palm muting do I do? Hold on. All your musical mentions. Well, thank you. Thank you, Steve Areno. I appreciate that. Anytime you guys share the channel, it means the world. Because we're very niche, if you haven't noticed. It's kind of hard to build a bigger following when you're not just like, pure Grateful Dead or like pure hip hop or pure podcasts. Like we do a lot of stuff, so it's like very small margin of people into all these things that'll like what we do. How much palm muting do I do and fretting hands? So it's like so I do quite a bit. Like there's a lot of palm muting. And I've also worked a lot on like my picking dynamic. So it's like I'm not always picking hard as fuck. It's the whole idea of like playing soft and like deciding which notes to hit harder and which notes to palm mute. But there's like a lot of palm muting. It helps you with comping, right? So there's that. And then when I'm muting with the other hand, it's like when I'm muting with my fretting hand, it's more along the lines of like I'll just kind of like throw a finger down to block something. Right, because my thumb's doing it there. And then if you're doing like a 6 time, what's that? Or if you're doing like an octave, right? Your finger there is going to be muting the rest. You just kind of let it sit, and again, that stuff takes time. And be easy with yourself about it, because it takes time to just kind of like let your finger just lightly fall on the string under it, But that's how you kind of get that clean octave sound. It's kind of like using these fingers to also kind of mute it, but not. It's weird. It's weird. It ends up being this kind of like intuitive thing once you've worked on it for a bit. Let's see. Dude, this may sound ridiculous, but there is a lick that Jerry does all the time. Particularly noticed it in Easy Win. Sounds like a full step bend followed quickly by a double pull off. All right, so okay, so a full step bend quickly by a double pull off. So something like that. Hold on. So how does Easy Win go? Hold on. I want to hear what you're talking about.
I've been balling a shiny black steel jackhammer, been chipping up rocks for the great highway. I live 5 years if I take my time, balling that jack and drinking my wine. I've been chipping them rocks from dawn till noon while my rider hide my bottle in the other room.
So there's this kind of it's very like country kind of like thing where you do this kind of that kind of thing, or so it's hard for me to tell exactly what you're talking about through a text. So if you even want to send me, like, if you want to scrub through that Easy Win and tell me like where it's at in the song, I should be able to tell you what it is. But like my mind immediately goes to these kind of like those kind of things, or that kind of idea. And all that is when you're bending up. So say you're on, so this usually happens within the A shape of a chord, right? So you bend on that 12th fret. So if we're in A, right? So you would bend on that 12th fret like a whole step. And then your pinky would come and hit the E string on that same fret. So on the 12th fret. So, but you don't bend it. You just let it be an E. Right? And then you can like do a pre-bend on it and then hit that E with your pinky and then just pull it down. It's very pedal steel, very slide steel type of line to do. And you can do them anytime that you're in like an E shape. You can do it as like... I enjoy those two. Whatever gets the job done. You know what I'm saying? All right. Questions. Get your questions in the chat if you got them. Any kind of question. What you got, babies? Hit the like button. That's my new envelope filter. I like it. It's the Proton by 3 Leaf. I still have the Mutron. So the Mutron, and it's weird because I kind of like the Proton more. It's warmer and feels more organic, which is strange. I feel like it sounds closer to the like actual vintage Mutron than the new ones do. That might be sacrilege, but I like it. Seems to have a bit more. It's warm, and like you usually don't get that. But anyways, am I drinking some green shit? Yeah, I'm drinking some green shit. Especially in the down position. Yeah, the down position's good. How do I stay inspired when I don't feel like playing? I fake it. To be honest with you guys, like the past few months have been really hard. In that regard, anyways, just because I have felt just like very drained. Because there's a lot to do in this. There's like a hell of a lot. It's like every time I go somewhere and a video is shot, I take all of my shit. So it's like. And every time we play a show, I bring a stream set up and have to set that up. And I've just been feeling like depressed, honestly, depressed and like not feeling it. But it's one of those things. It's like I have to do this. When you make a life decision, when you make your bed, you gotta lay in it. And that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy what I do. That doesn't mean that I'm not grateful to do the things that I do. I am, because this is insane. It's insane that Toby and I get to do this for a job, right? But like I've always been a sad boy, if that's what you want to call it. I've always been prone to like debilitating depression and anxiety. And that's one thing that I've been dealing with here recently, especially in regards to like, because I'm responsible for these lessons. I'm responsible for live streams. I'm responsible for like, there's so many other things that like go on behind the scenes that make all this work, that like keeps things going. And it's really hard. And especially when you have to do upkeep as well as do more things to bring new people in and keep the people you have. It's a lot. And there's a lot of things that we're doing to try to like ramp up and make this next year better. We've got some stuff in the fire that we hope works out, but you never know. And that's one thing about this too, is that like this line of work is so fickle. That's why I'm also putting like time and energy into the live shows. Like when we go and play like with St. Owsley and stuff, is because like if YouTube fucking fails for us, then it's like, okay, well, at least we're in like a touring band, or like we're doing something within the field. And also like, I haven't been able to write my own music in a long fucking time. And that's not because of what I'm doing, right? It's not because of what I'm doing. It's because of me. It's because I've had like writer's block for almost 5 years, and that's tough to reckon with, right? You have to reckon with these things all the time, every day. It's like when I wake up and I don't want to fucking move and I don't want to do anything, it's like, well, people are expecting things from me. People depend on me. It's like I've always wanted to take care of people, because I'll always put other people before my own like stability, right? Because like I want to give people jobs. It's like Toby and I are trying to build something so we can take care of people, right? Because like I was not a great dude before I decided to like start doing the lessons and stuff. I'm not a bad guy. I was never a bad guy, but I also was like a little bit of an ego addict. So like doing the channel and stuff is definitely like put me in my place, which has been just amazingly helpful for me. It's like, you can't really take any kind of the criticism seriously. Like when people praise you or when people talk shit, even though the people that talk shit are usually telling you the truth. So you kind of like take shit in as it comes and goes. But when it comes down to it, I'm just gratefully appreciative. And when you don't feel it, you fake it and push through. You fake it until you make it. There's a lot of times when I don't want to play. There's a lot of times when I don't want to film. There's a lot of times when I don't want to pack up all of the media gear and all of my music gear and go to a venue to, stream a show that like, A, we're not going to make any money from the stream, and B, we're probably not going to make much money from the show. So it's like I put in so much more work when these things happen, because it's like even when Tommy and I do the podcast, like I drive to his house. You know what I mean? It's like I'm packing all my shit up and leaving here to go and set all this shit up somewhere else all the time. And I'm just out here trying to make it happen, and I literally will not accept doing anything else, right? Because I can't. Obviously with the mental instability, I'm not a good employee. Straight up. I don't like being told what to do. I cannot be told what to do. And so it's like, even when I get tinges of that, when people tell us what we should do with the channel, I hate, you guys are my therapists right now. When people tell us what to do with the channel, you should do this. Have you thought about doing this? You should do this. Never going to listen to it. Because I don't think that anybody knows best for me or what I'm doing. Because I've gotten this far on my own. Toby and I have gotten this far doing what we thought was right, and it's worked. I mean, it hasn't worked the best, but again, very niche. Remember what I said, very niche market we're working with here. You guys are few and far between. Just saying. Let's see. I'm done. I look jacked. I'm just vascular. I'm not jacked. I'm very not jacked. I just got veins, bruh. Hand veins, arm veins. Well, thank you, Tyler. Also, man, like, so if you're ever interested, I don't know if you've got the Golden Road course, but like the Golden Road course tells you how I do stuff. It shows you how I view the neck and how I approach soloing. Well, thank you, Werewolf Cat. Who making that noise? Okay. Any advice for nervousness when playing in front of others? Give it a minute. I'm always like, it's not that I'm nervous. It's not that I'm nervous, because it never goes away. That quote unquote nervousness or butterflies or whatever. If you've got it, it never really goes away, but you can use it, right? I use it to push me through it. Because, like, what? Am I not going to do it now? Am I not going to play for these people now that I'm in front of them? Am I not going to, like, try to do my best? So I think the best thing you can do is, yeah, again, like A-Dub said, do it more. The first time I performed in front of people was like a full school, like, gym full of people for a talent show. And I was like, I didn't play in it. I sang Sunshine of Your Love. And I hadn't sang in front of people before. No way. And I had to, like, learn the lyrics for it. And then I went up there and I did okay. I didn't do great, but I did fine. And that was nerve-wracking. And then I had to do, I think me and my best friend at the time, Jacob, we played Wagon Wheel for our theater class. And then I would do, like, some, like, musical production stuff. Like I did, I was in plays and stuff. And it's not that I'm much more comfortable up in front of people than being in a crowd with them. Like, I can't do that. Like, I get so overstimulated in a crowd, but I can be in front of people all day. I can talk in front of people. I can say whatever. I can be vulnerable and I can do all that stuff. But, like, as soon as you put me inside that crowd, like when we take a set break, like, I will find, like, a couple people to talk to. And other than that, it's like I've got blinders on because it stresses me out. But that being said, I think that it's super important to kind of face that awkwardness and that nervousness, because it's what's letting you know that, like, you're doing something. That's what's letting you know that you're fucking alive. That's the rush. Because, like, who cares? Who cares? And usually people in an audience don't know when you fuck up. They don't know. It's just music to them. They don't know that you fucked up unless it's real bad and lasts for a real long time. But a note, a chord, no, that's there and gone. What's going on, Rowdy? Play should have, forget half of what I should know. Yep. It happens. It definitely does. Like when we did that last when we did our last Barrel House show, I was really excited that we played Rhapsody. We were going to play Rhapsody in Red, and we were like going to come out with that as the opener, and we did it, and I just kept fucking up that line. It's a weird line. And I kept fucking it up. And it's not hard. It's not a hard line. It's just E. But like Joel and I were both fucking it up at the same time, but hitting the different fucked up notes. If we had hit fucked up notes, the same fucked up notes together, it would have been fine. We could have played it up, but we were hitting wrong notes that were opposite of each other. So it was just rough. And those make you want to die. And then we played The Harder They Come after that. And then I was just singing irony at myself, right? You thought you were going to come out the gate with some big dick energy. You fall flat on your face. Harder they come, the harder they'll fall. One and all. And you're just like, I want to die. I don't want to be here anymore. That was rough for me. And that's recorded. That was in front of a lot of people too. And it's just like, you got to fucking fake it. You got to pretend that you're not dying. You got to pretend that you are not dying inside. That's what being a professional is, guys. You got to suck it up. Because as soon as you decide to do this stuff, you know that like, you know, some musicians are like, oh, I do it for me. But when you're in a jam band or you're doing it for the people. This is for the people. As soon as you're up on stage, it's not you anymore. It's not about you. It's about the people out there. And it's about, you know, having that connection with them and like building something together with the energy you got going on. It's not about you getting your rocks off or whatever. It's about serving the song. Any advice on how to practice with a group and learn to listen better? So that would be, man, like being in a band is so nuanced. You know what I'm saying? So like I've even thought about like making some videos on like how to be in a jam band because listening is super important. And that means usually when they say listen, they mean be patient. Right? If you're listening, you're being patient. You're kind of like biding your time. And it's also good eye contact. When you're in a jam band or when you're practicing with people, eye contact is everything. Learn each other's facial expressions. It's like, you know, you can even come up with like, so fucking Humphreys McGee has a fucking playbook of like hand signals and shit. You don't have to go that deep. You can go as deep as you want into it. But like communication is everything. So it's like before you start a song, talk about the form. Have a form talk. Talk about the form of the song, right? We're going to do this for this long and then jam until we feel good enough. And then that's when you practice catching eyes, right? So you're like, all right, we're going to do verse, chorus, first solo, verse, chorus, second solo, verse, chorus, third solo. And the solos are just the form of the verse and the chorus all the way through once or twice. You make that decision, right? Form talk. And then you're like, all right, we get to the end where we do a jam, right? And then what you would decide then is like, okay, who takes the lead during the jam, right? And who's going to texture? Or how do you want to start this jam? Do we want to start this jam in an A, like we're in A major? Do we want to drop it to A minor for a little bit of a different feel and get dark and grimy? And then from there, it's just a communication game. Right. And then you can also start to like catch eyes. So like your drummer leads everything. Your drummer is the conductor of your band. So you better have a good relationship with your drummer because your drummer dictates how fast the song is. Like your drummer dictates. He's the conductor again. Like he drives the fucking train. He tells you what's happening. He controls the feel of the whole song, of everything. It's him or her, whoever's drumming for you. I don't care. So that's the main thing is eye contact with the drummer, right? Or just being able to look at your band. Don't be a shoegazer. I'm guilty of it. Especially if I don't feel good. Um, if I'm not feeling great about what I'm doing, I'm looking down and I'm not looking at people. I'm not communicating with the band, and that's not good. You got to be eyes up, right? Now you can look at your instrument and play like if it's your solo, be in your little world, but you still have to listen. You still have to listen because like if things are ramping up and coming to a peak, yeah, things are gonna like decel after that, and then it's time to start another verse or go into the next section or whatever. Or you can keep going, push your way through. Again, whatever you decide, you got to talk about it. Sometimes to rock hard, you got to play soft. That's true. That's true because dynamics are everything. For every time you bring it up and get it loud, you got to get it almost silent, right? Like we have so much fun in St. Owsley and in Chance in the Void, like getting really quiet and then getting really big and then bringing it back down and then like changing the feel of jams, like, like go into a grimy A minor jam, bring it out into an islandy A major jam. That's what we did when we were doing our we did a sandwich of Keepers, After Midnight, Don't Let Go, back into After Midnight, back into Keepers. We did a sandwich of that, and it was really nice to do the jam from A minor to A major. Oh shit, what's going on, Joel baby? Okay, and so perfect time for Joel to come in. Joel and I we it's very important eye contact, right? The biggest sandwich ever made. It was a big old sandwich. No, Tool is a good example of that. What's going on, Keith? Did I refinish Birdie? No. Right now, Birdie's right here. Oh. Birdie's right here. No, she's not refinished. She's fine. I'm just waiting for a buffer. I'm putting a new buffer. I like the buffer that's in Bernadette more. I like the way it sounds more, so got a new buffer coming for that guy. Vulnerability. That's right. You got to be vulnerable with your bros or whoever's in your band. Like that's the whole thing. Because if you're cut off, then it's going to be robotic and something's going to fuck up. That's why we usually kind of microdose together. It kind of puts us all on the same wavelength where even if someone is like out or missing it, then like everybody's got their back. It keeps you in that it kind of puts you in that state of like in this for the greater good and for the unit, as opposed to like I'm a get mine, because it's not about getting yours. It's about like serving the song and like the people that are there. Keith, you got hurt? What's going on, Guitar Professionals? Jolly Llama, thank you. Have I heard of Sovereign Kava live stream? They have open jams Tuesday night in West North Carolina. I wonder if you heard of it. No, I haven't. I will check it out. I'm sorry, you got the sciatica. What's my practice routine? My practice routine is oh man. So every time I warm up, I do the same things. I do hand stretches. I do different kinds of hand stretches, and all this has gone over in the course. So if you want a full in-depth thing, you can get the course, and it'll show you how I do everything. So you do your hand stretches, you do your chromatic exercises on the guitar. Less sloppy and all the way up and back down. And then I'll play. I'll throw on some backing tracks and warm up to stuff like that, because it's better to me. It's better than playing with a metronome, because I don't like playing to metronomes. They piss me off. They're fucking annoying. I would rather play. I'd rather play with a band. Always. How I feel about metronome practice? I just answered that. I fucking hate it. I fucking cannot stand that wood block unless it's mixed in with some drums in like a Latin percussion kit. That's what I like. I would even much rather have like a snare and a hi-hat or like a kick and a hi-hat like helping me keep time. It's just better. It's just more natural for me because I don't think because it's like fuck a metronome, dude. Fuck a metronome. It's like you're never going to be playing unless you're like doing like an electronic thing, but even then it's like it's all disguised as the metronome is disguised as a full band. So that's why backing tracks are dope, is that you can find a backing track in whatever BPM you like, and then you can practice to that because it's going to be set to a metronome. That's how people record these things. So to me, it's the best way to kind of trick yourself. Recording with a metronome is also asked. That's why during those live streams that Toby and I do, where we're creating songs and stuff. So like every other Monday that we're not doing the dead thing, Toby and I are writing new music together. And so when we do that, it's like I have to have a drum track because it stresses me out because Toby likes to crack the whip in the studio. He's like, all right, you got this, do this. We're going to do this right now. And he's fine doing a metronome. I don't like it. I don't like it. I got to have like something there to let me know that I'm not alone. Yo, other night you had this really cool effect that sounded like it was on the envelope filter, had a weird Africa Safari sound to it. What was that? Okay, so that was probably me playing the pan flute on the MIDI, because I have a MIDI pickup. That might have been what that was, but also I've got the I do have the new Proton. Thank you, Joel. And it can do like the laser beam sound. That's better, so. That's close. That's not perfect. I haven't really tried to dial in that tone yet. What was this thing again? This is the Proton by 3Leaf. So Mutrons are still good. Like the Microtron 4 is still a great pedal. Mine's just fucked up right now, and I need to get it like worked on again. Something's going on in here. But Joel has I have the black Proton. Joel has the white one. So now we're like yin and yang, which is just sweet. We're like little Proton twins. So he's got the limited edition one. I got this one, and he let me. So when the Mutron was fucking up, he let me use his at a couple of the shows, which I'm very grateful for. Because I got to play through it, and it's really responsive in a nice way, and it's warmer and sounds more organic, and it's just a joy. This thing is a joy, and it's like pretty transparent, and like it doesn't like have like a suck, and it doesn't have like a super big push on it. And it takes other effects really well. I like to add in the Jar drive to like, give it some more bite. So this is without the Jar drive. That's with the Jar drive. And that's kind of like the more overdriven sound that I think he did on kind of like Estimated. I enjoy it. Shit, Tommy P, what's up? I saw you said something else. Why did you say that? Hey, Tommy P. What are you talking about, Joel? It does sound good on your guitar. What are you talking about? Nah. Nah. Nah, you just saying that shit. How many envelope filters have I gone through? So Mini Qtron, the Micro V from Smokin' Amp Co., this guy, and now the Proton. So the Proton is my fourth. Oh yeah, the throwing the octave on with it. No, Joel is my Joel. Joel is my Joel. Rowdy says, course is awesome, lessons amazing, keep it up. I love you, Rowdy. Overheated Twit thing, yeah. Let's see, said you've had writer's block for like 5 years, so I'm assuming you have some originals. Would love to hear one of them sometime. Yeah, I would love to do that too. If I could fucking have the courage to like sit down and work on them and remember them. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice. What about reverb? Shit. Ryan, we love you, bro. Thank you for being here. And Ryan Mulrinen. Hey. No. Joel is my Joel. Joel does shred. What about reverb? So I use the Ventress dual reverb from Source Audio. I used to use, and I also use a little bit of reverb from the Milkman itself. So this is the reverb on the Milkman. So it's just like a little spring reverb. Right? It's not the best, but it's not bad. But I usually kind of keep it a little bit down, and then I add in this hall reverb because again, I want to sound like, so when I'm doing the Dead stuff and the Jerry Band stuff, I want it to sound like it does to me, like I'm in a fucking psychedelic dream, right? Like we're coming to you live from a psychedelic dreamscape within your own fucking mind. So I like to have this hall reverb because most of the time you hear these crowd recordings, it's in like a hall or outside where there's more reverb on what's going on. Right, so that's how I hear it in my head, just like swimming. So that's what I make mine. That's why I make mine swim. And to me, that's what it sounds like. So I make it like that. Thank you so much, RK Monkey. Let's see. This is real. I want to live in a psychedelic dreamscape. Yeah, we all do, right? I'm so tempted to buy the course. I feel like your teaching method is so laid back, and I feel I learn a lot. I mean, you know, it's exactly what it is. So the course is basically the same. It's shot the same and is approached the same as like the Dead lessons. So it's like if you think it's not stuffy, it didn't become something else. It's literally like one of the lessons, but it goes in depth, well, like a bunch of the lessons. It's a lot of videos. There's a lot of videos and charts in it. Do I use a noise gate? No. So like on my voice, I've got an expander, which kind of acts like a gate. So if I if I'm on my vocal one and I take the expander off, you can hear a lot more of the room, right? There's a lot of white noise in the room, but then I take it off and it's just my voice. On the guitar, I don't have anything. The only thing I've got on it is a stereo spread. No noise gate, but also you're not hearing speakers. You're not hearing these speakers. You're hearing an amp. So I'll move my fucking green shit. You're hearing this guy, the milkman. Oh. What is happening? Oh, that's us. Okay. Let's see. Sorry. I got a little sidetracked. I'm sorry. I'm a little distracted. Am I catching any of... Do I use a noise gate? No. Yeah, so it's pretty quiet, but all you're hearing is this. So this goes direct in. This has a cab sim on it. So you're not hearing my speakers. They're just here for show. I mean, and for, when we have rehearsal up here, I just like shoot it this way off the desk. Let's see here. What's going on, Kai? Am I catching any Dead & Co? No. The Maleco envelope filter. Oh, the music lesson. Yep. I'm going to have a video on El Paso soon. Have I not done that one? Have I only done like Mexicali? And I feel like I've done El Paso. If I haven't, sure. If I buy the course, is it all accessible online? So I send you a Dropbox link. I send you a link to Dropbox, and then that's it. It's got all the videos in there and the charts. The videos, I think you can download them in different resolutions. They're in 4K, so they're kind of big files. But if you can download them in lower resolutions, you can do that. Otherwise, I would just download all your charts and the backing tracks, and then I would just watch the videos within Dropbox because it works fine. But yeah, it's all within just a Dropbox link. It's super, super easy. You just send me the $130 to one of these places, PayPal or Venmo, and then with your email address, that's super important. You got to put your fucking email address in there so I can send it to you. Booby and Wolf Brothers. I mean, we're playing after parties. I mean, we're probably going to be playing a Dead & Co. after party. And then we're definitely playing the Bob Weir after party February 24th. And then the next day we're in Asheville. So the 24th is Chance in the Void at JJ's doing the after party. And then the 25th we're in Asheville with St. Owsley playing at the One World Brewing. Use envelope filter on your bass, yeah. We're local in North Carolina. No, we're in Chattanooga, Tennessee. But we're a few hours away. All right, DeSluggy, we'll see you. Oh shit, Ryan. Well, we would be happy to have you. There's something about the DS1, dude, that I like. I know it's fake as fuck, but I like it a lot. And then, the Direwolf. Spark, and then the Jar Drive. So I've got two overdrives. So okay, so my first gain stage is almost kind of like another buffer. It's a Jar Drive. It's a JFET boost. Right, there's that guy. And it's just kind of like more like it brings more headroom and kind of like breaks it up a little bit. Then you got the Spark for like a clean. Like a fat, clean kind of. And then that goes to the DS1. That's just kind of like the heaviest one. And then you've got the Dire Wolf that I use for kind of like that mid distortion. So I've got 4 fucking gain pedals for some reason. And then I've got the octave. And that's just a Moore pure octave. And then I've got my delay pedal. I like to keep the delay kind of subtle. And then you've got the Proton, like before. I've got another EQ pedal on here that just kind of like evens me out if I need it. And I've got 2 EQ pedals for some reason. I don't need them both, honestly. And then that all runs into my hubbub. And then I've got my vocal pedal, which gives me harmonies when I need them. Favorite Dead song to play or jam to? Then there's so many. It really depends on the day. What guitar is this one? This is Bernadette, and this is an Eastwood SP1. So it's modeled after the single point from Alembic. It was like Alembic's first body design, and so I'm not a fan of Eastwood because they don't shield their $1,500 instruments. And, they usually wire the onboard effects loop backwards. That's like a big thing that happens with these. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But I love this guitar because it's big. It's like big like me because I need big guitar. I'm 6'5". And so like Birdie, the guitar that I built, she's long. See, the body doesn't start until the 24 fret neck ends, right? So she's a long-legged bird. She's a big bird, right? So I built this guitar, and then this guitar needed some work, so I had to have a guitar that could do everything she can do. So I bought this guitar and modded it. What's going on, Shane? How I record the guitar in the program I use. So the guitar... So I've got my pedals down here. My pedals run into the back of the amp here. And then the amp uses an XLR, so a microphone cable, out of the back and into my board right here. You can see the tip of it. So I'm plugged into that board, and that board USBs into my computer, right? So it can read it as multi-track. So then I open up this program called Logic Pro, which is it's a recording software that Apple uses. Right? So this is what it looks like. So every time that I do one of these, this is what my shit looks like. You've got my voice, and I can show you the things that I have on my voice. So if I take all this stuff off, take the compressor off and the expander, you see how bullshit this sounds, and then I add the EQ. Wow, that's helpful. And then I add the compressor. Wow, look at that. And then I throw the expander on. Holy shit, that's so clean. And there's other stuff in here too, but that's for different things. And then you've got the guitar. And the only thing I have on it is a stereo spread, which just like changes where the frequencies are, right? There's a big difference between that. Between that and that. More encompassing. Because I want it to sound like my guitar is hugging you. And then you've got the one where my synth goes into, and that's got a bunch of shit on it. So it's got an EQ, a compressor, a spread, an expander, and some reverb on it. And then the acoustic also has a bunch of shit. It's got its own amp that it goes through because piezos kind of suck. But it's just a transparent amp. It's just like it's basically like one of these. Just a DI amp. And then it's also got a spread because, again, all-encompassing. You kind of want your voice to be coming down the middle and the instruments to kind of come around it. So when I'm doing acoustic, I want it to be big. So that's why you also have the expander to cut out any of, like, the room noise that would come with it or any extra shit. And then you reverb over that so, like, the expander doesn't cut off your reverb. Your reverb keeps going when the expander kicks in. And that's what these look like. And then anytime that you want to record stuff, you just go in and so when I record lessons and stuff, I do it all in here. And then streaming just looks like this. This is what it looks like. It's on Streamlabs. So then you've got your extra scene down here where I can be like, oh, hey, what's up? We're closer now. Do I like Cosmic Debris? Yeah, I like that song. Probably not your thing, but going to buy a Telecaster, do you think it's worth spending twice as much for the American-made one over the Mexican-made? I don't think it'll matter, honestly. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think you'll know the difference. Buy the pure. Just buy the Mexican one. It doesn't matter. All right. Brand loyalty is stupid. Yeah, unless it's like, because I love Fred. I love Freddie. I love his guitars. So I'm loyal to him just because he's a good dude. You can be loyal to your friends. I will always tell you to go buy a Fred over in Eastwood. Always. Every single fucking time. Literally, I only bought this one because I could have it right then. Right? I ordered it from a dude who had already gotten it, so I didn't have to wait on anything. He just sent it right to me because it was time sensitive, and it's big. It's got a big old body. So that was literally it. And I'm getting my Wolf rewired right now, so the Wolf will be coming back too. But yeah, so I love you guys. Thank you so much. If you want to hit the like button, please. If you can, throw something in the tip bucket. It helps me pay rent and because had some unexpected expenses with our kitty cat this month. He got deathly ill, and that was almost $1,000, and that ate into old rent money that's due. So we're doing our best to catch on back up. But if you can help, that's greatly appreciated. If not, don't worry about it. I love you. Mwah. But I guess I'm going to be streaming again tonight unless I say something different. So we're going to play some music tonight. I love y'all. Love you, Joel. I love all y'all. See y'all later.